What makes somebody blend together jazz, reggae, rock, and even country music and let them think they can get away with it? Find out next when I sit down with musician Christos on Views and Vibes. Dreadlocks and reggae have a history together as old as music itself. But add a pair of blue eyes to the mix, stir in a little jazz and rock, and a dash of country, the next thing you know, you have this man right here. Please join me in welcoming Christos back to Views and Vibes. How's it going, Christos?
Good, good. Thanks for having me.
Now, where are you from? You know, where would you find somebody like yourself? Where did you come from?
Born and raised in D.C.
You're a D.C. native?
I'm a D.C. native.
In the city or
well, kind of in the suburbs of D.C. still, but I've got to say, though, still as a teenager, I found my way all around the district. So
now, did you get your musical influences from D.C. or?
Some. I wouldn't really say, you know, D.C. in particular. I mean, the only music that's really, you know, associated directly with D.C. seems to be go-go.
Right.
And I can't say that I'm that influenced by go-go. But, you know, I kind of took my influences from a lot of different places. I can say that public radio in D.C. was a big influence on me when I was younger, particularly WPFW, where they played a lot of types of music that you wouldn't find on mainstream radio.
Yeah, a lot of variety, right?
Yeah, a lot of variety, you know, jazz, reggae, you know, all kinds of stuff that I wouldn't necessarily hear on DC 101 or any of those kind of stations out there, you know?
Yeah, well, you know what? Coming from New York, I'm from New York, and we have a great, big Caribbean population, you know, so reggae is something I grew up with, you know, hearing everywhere, soca, everything. And coming here, you rarely ever hear that on the radio. You know, you rarely hear it at a club.
Right.
So for you to find more of that kind of music, other than, you know, listen to the PFW, were there outlets for you here to, you know, to actually link in with that music, with that genre?
Yeah, absolutely. I found that as I was about 20 years old, I think the first direct link that I made with reggae and playing reggae with artists was through a guy who used to do a radio show over at the University of Maryland, and he started a record label and started going to Kingston and recording a lot of artists down there. And so that was basically my first professional gig was actually in Kingston back in 1990, I think it was. I flew down there and I recorded with a couple guys, Sly and Robbie.
Yeah, I saw that, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Those guys have been around since the 70s, right?
They were major legends.
Right.
Yeah, it was a little intimidating to kind of walk into a studio and see some guys who I had, you know, been listening to since I was a kid.
Right, and same here, right?
Yeah.
Did you, were you playing the guitar, were you playing other instruments before you actually got into it that thick? Were you listening to other music? What was going on? What were you actually playing before that?
I mean, I had been into reggae from a pretty early age. I think it was about 12 or 13 when I really started listening to a lot of it.
Okay. Now, who was out at that point? Who was your...
Oh, goodness, man.
the artist that you were listening to at that point?
Well, I remember Peter Tosh was someone I went to see when I was about 12 or 13. It just blew me away. And I don't know, people like Steel Pulse, you know, Aswa, Bob Marley. But there's a lot of their influences still, you know.
Right.
You know, I grew up around music in my house. It was taught in my house.
Right, your parents were opera singers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And they were teachers, music teachers.
Yeah, opera singers and teachers, yeah.
So how did that translate into what you're doing now?
Certainly not through me singing like they do, but
right.
It translated in just kind of growing up around it, hearing people learning to sing, you know, in my basement daily was something that I didn't really think it was going to have a lasting impact, but it really did. It really did.
Nice, nice. Well, you know what? At this point, I would love for you just to play a little something for us to hear. See what you got.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Straight to it, huh?
Just go right into it.
Okay. Well, this is a song, it's called Run to Another, that I'm working on an album right now that's still yet to be titled, but it's working with a lot of guys who've been in the industry playing reggae for years, and So we actually just mixed this one yesterday.
Okay.
The song's called Run to Another. Kind of explains itself pretty well.
You would never run to another. You said that you would never run to another. She wants what she wants, says she just won't lose. She wants it right now. She says she's paid her dues. She says she's paid her dues. You run to another. You run to another. You run to another. Run to another. You run to another. You run to another. We just couldn't make it through the storm. And she used to hold the key to my heart. Hold the key to my heart. You said that you would never run to another. You said that you would never run to another. You run to another. You run to another. You run to another. Yeah.
Nice.
That's it.
We'll be right back after this.